How do we create a coaching agreement with our clients? Both the formative and the sessional. In the sessions for our clients, how do we create a compelling co-creative process that will truly make a lot of difference and will make a successful session for our clients as well? Well, in this video, we're going to explore just that. Well, thanks so much for joining us in Coaching Changes Lives. My name is Jedi, and whether you're a coach, whether you're a speaker, a leader, a trainer, or maybe you're attending a coaching class and you want to become a certified coach, well, this video is just for you. Now, over the course of several years, ICF, the International Coaching Federation, has taken steps to review the coaching competencies. Now, too often I hear many misinformed people that say that, oh, ICF is all about coaching competencies. No, ICF is not just about coaching competencies. The coaching competencies lay the bedrock about how we conduct ourselves as coaches. It lays the ethics, it lays the professional standards, the values, the tools by which we develop ourselves with, layering on based on the core competencies. So the core competency sets the bedrock, and we layer on our tools, our techniques, our processes. And now remember this, many people have often asked me, say, Jedi, what's the model that you use? What's the framework that we use? Now, I will always like to be really cautious by the different models that people prescribe with. Why is it so? Because models form you or box you in a certain frame of the world or box you in a certain way of thinking. As coaches, we want to expand that frame for our clients. We don't want to limit our clients, because do you know that your very own model, which you hold very dearly with, could actually impinge or impede your client's progression? Because your map of the world is different from the client's map of the world. So we need to be truly flexible. In our class, the Mastering Coaching, Team Leadership Performance Coaching, even in our Coaching Intelligence Mastery classes as well, both our ACSTH, ACTP, our CCU classes, we teach coaches all the time. How to be flexible, adapting to the client's learning styles, how to be flexible in adapting to the client's learning, the way that they shape their world and the way they frame their world. How do we adapt to their spoken language? How do we adapt to the way, the beliefs, the cultures, the way they layer on their levels as well? We also apply the neurolinguistics, neurosciences, neuropsychology into the whole coaching process. But you know this, in the eyes of the client, they do not feel that we are imposing certain techniques. They do not feel they're imposing certain signs on them. In fact, as the client should feel as natural as possible. The client should feel almost as if we're having a conversation with them, not being forced in a certain way. Have you heard of conversations before where you feel like you're kind of like forced in a certain direction? Well, then you know that the coach has not yet mastered the skill. Now, too often I see this all the time. Coaches are moving from one tool to another tool, and whenever something new comes up, they just jump. So they're always chasing after the next shiny object. But coaches never spend time developing their fundamental skills, which are these 8 competencies. So today I'm going to talk about competency number 3, which is establish and maintains agreements. Establish and maintains agreements. Now, I want you to check out some of my previous videos as well on how to establish the coaching agreement. And that is really vital. But in this episode, we're going to talk about that. We're going to have some discussions. And in our Mastering Coaching ICF program, that's when I take coaches from ACC, PCC, and MCC level and deepen their understanding about how to use the coaching agreement well and effectively. Now, if you get this right, when you layer on the other journeys with your clients, as you map out the entire session with your clients, it gets easier. Why? Because too often when we don't have an agreement, or when we don't co-create an agreement, what happens is that the conversations will go in all directions, and you have no idea how to land the conversations. You have no idea how to navigate the complexities of the issues that the clients bring to the table. So in this video, I'm going to explain just how to do that. Okay, so let's take a look first at the definition for establish and maintains agreements. Now, ICF describes this like that. It says partners with client and relevant stakeholders to create clear agreements about the coaching relationships, process, plans, and goals. Establishes agreements for the overall coaching engagement as well as those for each coaching session. So ICF defines it as partnering the client. Now, this is something I truly believe in. In all our coaching sessions, whether you are engaging with your clients, or maybe you are a leader who's actually coaching your staff, or maybe you are an external coach who's engaged to coach teams, it's always important to partner your clients. Why? Because it's not about us. The coaching process is not about us. It's not about showing how good we are, what kind of techniques we use. Are we using the transference, counter transference, are you using CBC techniques, are you using TMM techniques? Whatever techniques that you use doesn't really matter. Nobody cares, right? People care that their lives have been transformed. People want to know that you as a coach can partner them to create that compelling future. So the very first thing is about partnering. And I love this word, partnering with client and stakeholders, because sometimes you may have stakeholders who engage you. They are the sponsors. And to create clear agreements. When agreements are not clear, they often lead to many misunderstandings. Now, if clients come to you and say, hey, coach, can you help me write a resume? Can you help me, to craft this, help me find a job? Now, as a coach, you also must be mindful of what are your boundaries as a coach, what you can do as a coach, what you can't do as a coach. Now, today I hear people say, oh, coach can do every single thing. We are not magicians. Okay, we're not people who can do every single thing. We have a clear, specific role that we can do with our clients, and that's by definition partnering the clients through a creative and thought-provoking process to inspire potential, to inspire change, to maximize potential. So one of the clear things that we do is to really create a change for the client, helping them create a more compelling future. So let's take a look at some of the points about establishing and maintains agreements. So let's see point number 1. It says this: it explains what coaching is and is not, and describes the process to the client and relevant stakeholders. Reaches agreement about what is and is not appropriate in the relationship, what is and is not being offered, and the responsibilities of the client and the relevant stakeholders. Now, this is what I was just describing earlier, that sometimes if you don't describe this to the client clearly, the client might think you can do every single thing. Just like, for example, if I go to an eye doctor and I tell my doctor, I say, hey, doctor, I'm feeling some pain in my feet. Can you help me with my feet as well? The eye doctor is not going to say, oh, well, I can also repair your feet because I'm a doctor. Oh, well, I can repair your heart because I'm also a doctor. Now, that's when we come in with very clear boundaries about what we can do as a coach and what we can't do. If we can't do it, we need to refer our clients to professional help. So the first 2 points really establishes the boundary, letting our stakeholders, letting our people know what we can or we can't do in the process. Let's take a look at point number 3. It says this: reaches agreement about the guidelines and specific parameters of the coaching relationship, such as logistics, fees, scheduling, duration, termination, confidentiality, and inclusion of others. Partners with client and relevant stakeholders to establish an overall coaching plan and goals. Partners with the client to determine client-coach compatibility. So these points here refer to something what we call the formative agreement, where you lay down what is the scope of the sessions going to be like, what the clients can expect. What are the roles and responsibilities? Is there a fit between you as a client and me as a coach? So I know some of you watching this video as well want to engage me as your coach, right? I have many clients who come to me and say, Jedi, can you coach me? Can you help me with this? And I often take them on. But before we have the sessions, I often have a chemistry session with them, just to really make sure that we are compatible in the process. Why? Because you need to be compatible with my style, and I want to feel comfortable with your style as well. Now, does it mean that we can't coach anyone? No, we can coach everyone. But are there some styles that we prefer than others? For example, when you meet doctors as well, right? Doctors general practitioners can help a lot of different people, but there's some of them who are more skilled in certain areas than others. Some people enjoy certain clientele than other clienteles. So as such, the client-coach relationship truly matters. Because if the client doesn't trust the coach, or if the coach doesn't trust the client, the process of coaching doesn't happen. So the client-coach compatibility is so key. So having a first session with the client truly matters. So I have my very first session with my client. I talk to them and I say, this is my style, right? I'm like that, and I will always challenge you. I would always try to stretch your boundaries. If you're thinking in this certain direction, I'll hope in the conversations with you to really expand the horizon, to really stretch the way you think about things, the way you consider things. And I hope in this whole process that this will inspire you to make a change, make a difference. So that's what I do in the co-coaching process, stretching the boundaries for them. So the first 5 points under competency number 3 refers to what I call the formative agreement. Now, many years ago, I talked about formative agreement versus sessional agreement because coaches are so confused. They think that every single session that they start with, they need to speak about all these issues, describing what a coach is, describing what a client is. No, this is done before your very first session. This is the pre-session work we've done with the client. So before they begin their first official session review, you would have established the formative agreement with them, letting them know the boundaries, letting them know the logistics, the payment schedules, letting them know what to expect in the session as well, and what homeworks they need to prepare before the next session. Now let's take a look at the next point, which is point number 6. Partners with client to identify or reconfirm what they want to accomplish in the session. Partners with the client to define what the client believes they need to address or resolve to achieve what they want to accomplish in the session. So these 2 points is something that I've covered before in our previous videos. So I want you to watch those videos as well on the coaching agreement, because I teach coaches how to identify and reconfirm. The establishment of the coaching agreement is going to be key, because sometimes when we hear the client and the client says, oh, I want to hear the world make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. Well, that is too broad. That's too huge, right? The session outcome is going to be key. So when we talk about identify, reconfirm, it's about the session outcome. What do we want to accomplish in this session? What is doable? Yes, I know you want to lose 10 kilograms. I know you want to lose 30 pounds. I know you want to lose X amount of kg or X amount of pounds. But that is after the session. What do we want to do in this session? Do you want to plan? Do you want to get clarity around it? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve out of this session? So the session outcome is going to be key. Now, in fact, if you join our classes in mastering coaching or team leadership coaching, I want you to come and join our class. And even if you've taken other classes before, I want you to join the class again, because it will help you to get a new insight about what the coaching agreement really is. Now, too often, many people have a surface level understanding of a coaching agreement. As such, they're not able to fully exploit the power of the coaching agreement in the conversational flow. So what I teach is this, that you need to first identify what is the sessional outcome with your clients so you can go deeper than ever before. Next, you want to help and partner the client to define what they need to resolve within themselves for them to be able to achieve the next step forward. Basically, what this means is this: what is holding the client back today? What is preventing them from moving forward? What is that barrier? What's that wall? What is that thing that's holding them back from pursuing, helping them to move forward in their time? So that's going to be key. Now let's look at point number 8. It says this: partners with the client to define or reconfirm measures of success for what the client wants to accomplish in the coaching engagement or individual session. Partners with the client to manage the time and focus of the session. Point number 10, continuous coaching in the direction of the client's desired outcome unless the client indicates otherwise. And also partners with the client to end the coaching relationship in a way that honors the experience. I love this so much. In a way that honors the experience. Coaching is not just about trying to get the steps done. Coaching is not just about trying to force the client through a process, as much as coaching is a process, right? Coaching is about creating the experience that truly matters to the client. It's not my performance, it's not a show for me, it's an experience for the client. And that's why you often hear me say this: coaching is an experience to be experienced. Now, if you're thinking, what is coaching like? How does it impact me? Now, have you thought about this before? You're faced with a challenge, and you're facing a lot of different crises in your life. You want to do this, you want to do that, in your careers and your relationships, and there's so much things in your mind, and you need someone to speak to. A coach is there to help you get clarity around all those different things, help you align, help you find congruence and coherence in what you truly believe in. Now, in this whole exploration in the coaching agreement and maintaining the agreement, it's all through the process. It's not just establishing at the start, in the middle, or all the way to the end. So you begin to realize that in our programs, in mastering coaching, in team leadership performance coaching, and even our coaching intelligence programs as well, we don't teach coaches at the ACC, then we go to the PCC, we go to MCC. No, we begin first in mastery. Why do we do that? Because this is what I truly believe in. Mastery is not an end stage. You begin in mastery, you continue in mastery, you journey all the way through mastery. Mastery is not an accomplishment of like 10 different items or 20 different items, then I've reached a master level. No. Mastery is in that practice of the fundamentals again and again and again and again and again. And after that, relearning and coming back again and again and again. Too often, whenever coaches achieve their ACC, PCC, or MCC levels, they say, they say to themselves, "Oh, I have that competency. I know it already. I know that already." When you hear such language, the coach is not in the learning state. The coach has not established or have not evidenced a coaching mindset. In fact, one of the things I enjoy doing, it's always revisiting the coaching agreements, always revisiting the core competencies, reviewing them, practicing them, getting them back again to the fundamentals, teaching them, evaluating them, practicing them, stretching them, questioning, asking questions, finding connections. And then in my coaching sessions as well, reflecting upon my sessions and see where else can I improve, where else can I create a change, where else can I make an enhancement in the whole process. So those are really exciting stuff in the whole coaching process as well. Now, think about this. What about you? As you are practicing your coaching sessions with your clients, how have you established your coaching agreement? Have you been more mindful about it? Have you thought about how to actually guide the clients through the coaching agreement process? What happens if clients want to change a different course of action? As clients get more clarity and realize, hey, when I came to you, this was the topic that I wanted to. But as I explored more, I realized that this is not what I want. This is something else is what I want. This is the other part that I was really looking for, not this one. Now, that's what can happen in the coaching process as well. As client gains more clarity, the direction of coaching might shift. But you as a coach, you will navigate the client the whole process, partnering the client to help them identify and create the experience that they want to achieve. So that's what you see here. Continues in the direction of the client's desired outcome, where the client wants to go, instead of where the coach wants to go. So that's going to be very important. I want you to practice this because this requires a lot of practice. This requires a lot of conscious effort on your part as a coach to really make this change happen for you as well. Now, what questions you have about the coaching agreement? Now, the way you have questions as well is to join one of our mentoring classes as well. We take coaches all year round to help them improve their conversations, one conversation at a time. We also analyze the different coaching classes. We also analyze the different coaching processes with their clients, with their loved ones, with the teams, or with their own teams as well. And then we break down and say, hey, have we established a coaching agreement here? Have we identified clearly? Have we set the measures of success? Because without the measure of success, how do we establish the ROI or KPI of coaching? Now, I often say this, the measure of success, it's really important because that establishes the ROI, the return on investment, or the KPI, the key performance index of the coach and the client's relationship. Now, in our class, I break that down for you and I help you translate that into also actionable items as well, because that is going to be important because clients will ask you, they say, hey, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars. How would I get my returns? How would I know that this is of value? In the coaching experience, it's about the conversation with the client, helping them get the clarity around the issues that they're stuck with. When they get the clarity, action moves. Do you focus on the action or do you focus on the person? To me, in the coaching process, it's all about the person because when the person finds that clarity, action follows. I don't begin with the action, I begin with inside out. I call this the inside out revolution, not the outside in. Too often, many interventions, many different therapies, many different consultants, or many coaches who call themselves coaches, but they're not even certified as coaches, they claim to say, oh, I'm an action-based, I'm a results-based, right? I'm a solutions-based. Well, when we go from that approach, we're always so focused about the solutions, outcomes, actions, than on the person. The key thing in the coaching process is not about the solutions. The solutions and outcomes, they are the simple part. What is key? It's the person in the conversation. The person who has a set of values, a set of beliefs, a set of ideas, ideologies, visions, that person is key. Because when that person finds that clarity, action follows, solutions follows, results follows. So person focused, person centered, it's going to be key. Not solutions focus or solutions or results focus. Why? This paradigm shift helps us to get realignment in the whole process. I always tell people, it's not about the questions. It's about the questioning process. It's not about the solutions. It's about the solutioning. It's not about the actions. It's about the actioning. It's not about the results. It's the resulting. Why is that so important? Because it's the ongoing process of co-creation. You will learn this theory about co-creation in my classes, in mastering coaching or team leadership performance coaching, even in our NLP classes as well. I hope you join us there. I teach about this idea of co-creation. Co-creation is such a powerful insight because when we can co-create with someone, when we can co-create with a client, something magical is birthed forth. Something wonderful is birthed forth out of that. When we can co-create with your clients, something truly beautiful happens. In that moment, something births from those insights as well. And that's why I often say this. As a coach, it's not about trying to rush the process. It's not about trying to achieve X amount of things. It's not trying to show what you know. because you can show what you know, but it doesn't change a life. It doesn't change an iota. What truly matters is that in the whole process, it's about being so focused on about the person in front of you, being focused about the team in front of you, having that conversation, a heart-to-heart conversation, inspiring change, and empowering actions. And that's what truly coaching really is. And that's why I truly believe this, that coaching has the power to change lives. And in fact, I've named my company out of this, right? That's why my company is called Coaching Changes Lives. When you think about that, coaching, fundamentally, it's about conversational mastery. And that's what really coaching is. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want you to join one of our classes, right? Don't think so much about it. Maybe you've experienced other courses, programs, and coaching programs. You said, I've attended them before, but you have not attended the program that I've conducted before. I want you to continue learning in your process. Watch the videos that I have on YouTube, right? Engage with us on Facebook. Join us on the next session. Write to us. If you say, Jedi, can you? I'm looking for a mentor coach. I'm looking for a coach who can, coach me through this whole journey. Do you have coaches with you on your team? Well, yep. Write to us at coach@coachingchangeslives.com, or leave us a comment below, or drop us a message on Facebook Messenger, and we'll get back to you as well. Now, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also leave us a comment below. Let us know what are your thoughts, what are your ideas or questions you have still about the coaching agreement, and I'll create more videos after this to really support your learning and growth as a coach. So until next time, this is Jedi at Coaching Changes Lives. You can find me on LinkedIn as well at Jedidiah Alex, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.